Hi, I'm J Hughes, a PhD student at the University of Toronto and a bookbinding apprentice this year to the wonderful Don.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor. I'm a bookbinder, and I come here for a few hours each week to repair books.
And we're going to walk you through some of the various steps that you can take to protect, preserve, or even repair the books on your own shelves at home.
Okay, so you're going to need a few tools. Got an Alpha knife with the snap-off blades, really good tool. A decent pair of scissors that cut to the tip, that's important. A scalpel, it sounds a little exotic, but it's very good for getting into tight spaces. A relatively ordinary little knife I use for slitting paper. You'll need that. A pair of dividers. These are for measuring. You'll need those for cutting several strips of paper for if you're trying to repair the signatures of a book or something. A square of some kind. This is made out of metal, but you could mostly use a plastic one. A Teflon folder and a bone folder, both very good tools for smoothing and burnishing, and some kind of awl just for punching holes in preparatory for sewing. Some brushes. Notice that they aren't too large. There's a sort of a larger, slightly larger one, but the other two are fairly small. Sanding stick. You can make this out of a couple of pieces of cardboard and a piece of number 80 grit sandpaper. And as for adhesives, here's this paste is great. You can make your own paste, but this stuff is very handy. It's very you can dilute it. It's very strong, nice stuff. You can get it from some art supply stores. And this is Jade 403 acid-free reversible PVA. Very useful for working, particularly with these Japanese papers that we use a lot for repairing corners and hinges and all that kind of stuff. These are all nice quality Kozo papers, handmade in Japan. They come in a lot of nice browns. Include a document repair tape. This is great stuff. It's almost transparent. It's self-adhesive. This is a thin Japanese repair tissue that's very useful. It's certainly not the thinnest, but it's a very good one for repairing hinges. Let's see what else. Needles. Number 18 bookbinder's needle. Here it is. It's hard to see, but there it is. It's got a nice length, or a long darner. There's another kind of needle you might find easier to find. They will go with your number 25 3-cord linen thread if you can find that. Another thing you can try is using mylar. This stuff is very thin. I don't know what the exact gauge is, but you can see that it's very paper thin, and you can make these very nice, very simple wrappers for. As a protective enclosure. It'll hold little pieces of the spine that it might be flaking off. It'll hold them in position before you get around to fixing them. Here's another one that's slightly different. It's a paper sort of wrapper. It's just an acid-free paper wrapper that you can, and if you are feeling handy, you could figure out how to make a slipcase. A light paper slipcase like this. That's a good one too. Eventually, you will, if you get into this, you'll learn how to make a clamshell box. These are fantastic for doing exactly what this one's doing, housing an old book, keeping it away from the light, keeping it away from acid, in the air. There's acids everywhere, and that gives you a very strong protective enclosure.
Now that we've introduced you to some tools and materials you can use to protect your books or to repair some simple damage, let's look at some examples of those repairs.
This is a useful set of books. There were 6 of them, and they all came to us in this condition. The board's off, no spine. So that was the problem. Here's one that we've started. It's got. I was able to use the kitakata to to repair some of the hinges on this, and then this backboard has been fixed on with some of the colored Japanese paper. This one here is a slightly more elaborate. I was able to lift the leather and get the new paper underneath there. This is called a reback in the trade. You can see how there's a new spine and how these three boards have been hinged together. Here's an internal hinge that is underneath the original flyleaf. There's some kitakata used in there. And this book has been re-sewn, but you can also see on the spine all the spine folds have been repaired with kitakata. They look new because they are. And this has been re-sewn together, and that's going to be put in there. And we're going to use these. We're going to shorten these up, but we're going to use these Japanese paper hinges to put the book back in. Right.
There's an example of that page repair tape in action. As you can see, and as you can imagine, this map with many folds had some damage to the folds, and so we've just reinforced those folds with page repair tape. We're also now going to zip through a few additional examples of some structural repairs from the Robertson Davies collection. We've pulled out 3 different versions of Longfellow's works for comparison.
Yeah, unlike this one, these two have got celluloid covers, which is tricky, makes them trickier to repair. It all has to be done to the inside. So this is where we will attach our new spine. I've created a new spine for this one. This one has a leather spine that I don't think is going to be able to be preserved, but because it's stuck right down. But we'll see what we can do. But the same situation applies. Any repair we have to do is going to have to be done underneath. Unlike this one, which has the leather lifted. And then this one here has a whole new spine that has been let in underneath the original cloth cover, and then the interior hinges in the same paper to reattach from the inside.
Our next example is one of a book that was heavily damaged, including water damage, as you can see from the interior pages. This book needed an entire rebinding. When you are conserving or repairing books, you'll be faced with a choice of to what extent do you want to preserve the original versus maybe your purposes are to have something that is has more of a clean aesthetic or just looks fresher or updated in some way. Generally, for the Robertson Davies Library, we prioritize preserving works, but we want them to be functional as well for this library. So we have made Don actually coached me to prepare these fresh covers. This is you can see some tape sticking out. We've prepared a new spine. This is an example of an old end paper that was heavily water damaged. Don prepared fresh end papers through laminating, some marbled papers that were a pretty close match, I would say, with additional paper. As we wrap things up, Don is going to tell us about a few of the things we looked at today that are especially approachable for beginning bookbinders or people who don't have a large number of materials.
Yeah, the document repair tape is really easy to use once you get the hang of it. It's a little bit fiddly, but it makes a great little repair, almost transparent, almost unnoticeable. It's great stuff. Mylar wrappers are easy to do. You do need to get proper Mylar to do it, or acetate film, and so they're great, and you can protect all your books that way. And the other thing that you could try is a phase box. It's pretty simple. You make it out of 2 pieces of card stuck together. This is 2 layers here. These folds wrap this way. This fold wraps this way. You got a little knife cut there, and that tongue goes in there, and it's a really good thing to do. And in a little bit of practice, you'll be able to do it in 15 minutes.
Thank you for spending some time with us today in the Bibliography room at Massey College at the University of Toronto. Thank you, Don Taylor, my collaborator, and other people who've helped support this project, including the Bibliographical Society of America.